Have you ever woken up at 3 in the morning for no apparent reason? You look at the clock, and there's that mysterious number, 3 a.m. If you're over 60, this probably sounds all too familiar. But don't worry, you're not alone. This phenomenon is much more common than you might imagine. And today, I'm going to reveal why it happens and what it really means for your health and well-being. What you'll discover in the next few minutes could completely change how you view those nighttime awakenings that worry you so much. I remember perfectly when my father, upon turning 65, began to complain about the same thing. Every night, like clockwork, he told me. I open my eyes exactly at 3 a.m., and then it takes me hours to fall back asleep. As a specialist in elder health, I was so intrigued that I decided to thoroughly investigate this mysterious pattern that affects so many people like you. What I discovered after years of studying sleep cycles in people over 60 was revealing. And today, I want to share these insights with you, because I perfectly understand the frustration of waking up in the middle of the night and tossing and turning in bed without being able to fall back asleep. Before continuing, I want to tell you something that many experts won't tell you. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not necessarily something negative. In fact, there's a fascinating biological explanation behind this phenomenon that few people know about. Have you heard about our internal biological clock? As we age, this clock undergoes significant changes that most doctors don't usually mention. After 60, our body produces less melatonin, the sleep hormone. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What really happens is that our sleep cycle returns to an ancestral pattern that humans had before the industrial era. Surprising, isn't it? Sleep historians have discovered that our ancestors didn't sleep for 8 continuous hours as we try to do today. In reality, they slept in 2 separate phases with a period of wakefulness in the middle of the night. This discovery completely changes our perception of insomnia after 60. What you consider a problem might simply be your body returning to its natural sleep rhythm. Historical records show that this period of night wakefulness was used for reflection, meditation, or even socializing with other community members. But there's more, much more. Traditional Chinese medicine has a fascinating perspective on this phenomenon. According to its ancient principles, waking up between 1 and 3 in the morning is related to the liver meridian, while doing so between 3 and 5 is linked to the lungs. Maria, one of my 67-year-old patients, used to religiously wake up at 3 a.m. and would become distressed thinking something was wrong with her health. After applying some of the techniques I'll share with you today, not only did she stop worrying about these awakenings, but she began to use them as an opportunity to enrich her life. Now those moments are my sacred time, she confessed to me in our last consultation. Sleep scientists have identified a phenomenon called night sleep division that occurs naturally with age. Contrary to what many believe, it's not a disorder, but a natural adaptation of our organism. Your body is not failing, it's simply adjusting to a new stage of life. When we understand this, we can stop fighting against our own biological rhythm and begin to work in harmony with it. The key is not to eliminate these awakenings, but to manage them properly so they don't interfere with our quality of life. Now, let me reveal something that few people know. There is a correlation between these 3 a.m. awakenings and brain activity during old age. Recent research suggests that these periods of night wakefulness could be related to memory consolidation and brain cleaning, fundamental processes for preventing cognitive decline. Isn't that fascinating? What you perceived as a problem could actually be a protective mechanism of your brain. Let's look at the case of Antonio, a retired professor of 72 years. For years he fought against his night awakenings by taking sleeping pills, which caused him to feel dazed during the day. When he began to apply the natural methods I'm about to share with you, not only did his nighttime rest improve, but he noticed a significant improvement in his mental clarity during the day. For the first time in years, he told me, I feel truly rested when I wake up. Let's delve into the true causes of this phenomenon. While it's true that there is a natural biological component, there are factors that can intensify these awakenings. First, the hormonal changes that occur after 60 directly affect our sleep cycle. In women, the decrease in estrogen and progesterone after menopause alters the architecture of sleep. In men, the reduction of testosterone has similar effects. Second, melatonin production decreases significantly with age, which thins the structure of our sleep, making it lighter and more fragmented. Third, common medical conditions such as sleep apnea, prostate problems that increase the need to urinate at night, or restless leg syndrome become more prevalent after 60. And finally, something few mention: subconscious anxiety. As we age, our brain processes concerns about health, family, or the future, and these can manifest as night awakenings, especially at that mysterious hour of 3 a.m. But it's not all bad news. In fact, these awakenings can become a unique opportunity if you know how to handle them. What would happen if instead of getting frustrated, you used that nighttime wakefulness for something positive? This change in perspective has transformed the lives of many older people I've worked with. The key is to create a ritual for those moments of wakefulness that is relaxing and not stimulating. For some people, guided meditation has proven enormously beneficial. For others, like Carmen, a retired artist of 68 years, writing in a gratitude journal during those awakenings completely transformed her experience. "Now I almost look forward to that moment," she confessed to me. "It's my time of deepest connection with myself." Now I'm going to share with you the most effective strategies I've developed after years working with older adults who experience this phenomenon. The body scan technique. When you wake up at 3 a.m., instead of worrying about going back to sleep, mentally go through each part of your body, consciously relaxing it. This ancestral method reduces anxiety and prepares the body to naturally return to sleep. The 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale counting to 4, hold the air counting to 7, and exhale slowly counting to 8. This technique activates the parasympathetic nervous system, sending a calming signal to your entire organism. Strategic hydration. Many older people limit fluids at night to avoid waking up with the need to urinate, but dehydration can fragment sleep even more. The key is to hydrate properly until 2 hours before bedtime. The dim light ritual. If you wake up, avoid bright light. Use a small lamp with warm light of less than 5 watts to read or do some quiet activity. Dim light doesn't interrupt melatonin production. The reflection notebook. Keep a small notebook next to your bed. When you wake up, write down your thoughts, concerns, or even the dreams you were having. This exercise frees the mind and facilitates the return to sleep. The most fascinating thing about all this is that these techniques not only improve your experience during those night awakenings, but they can have a positive impact on your general health. Recent studies have shown that those who adopt a positive attitude towards these episodes experience less daytime stress and better cognitive function. But let me tell you something that truly changed my perspective on this topic. During a research trip to Okinawa, Japan, one of the areas with the highest longevity in the world, I discovered that many local elderly consider these moments of night wakefulness as sacred. They call them the ancestors' hour and use them to connect with their inner wisdom. This cultural perspective teaches us something valuable. Perhaps the problem is not the awakening itself, but the anxiety and frustration we generate around this experience. Manuel, a 75-year-old patient, used to take medications to sleep until an adverse reaction led him to seek alternatives. Implementing some of these natural techniques, not only did he improve his rest, but he discovered a new passion: night astronomy. "Those moments that used to torment me are now my connection to the universe," he told me in our last session. Now it's important to distinguish between these natural awakenings and a true sleep disorder. If in addition to waking up, you experience symptoms such as extreme fatigue during the day, severe mood changes, or difficulty functioning normally, it's essential to consult with a specialist. But you know what? Most people over 60 who wake up at 3 a.m. don't have a disorder. Their body is simply following a natural rhythm that modern society has forgotten. Let me now share some practical recommendations to improve your overall sleep quality, complementing the specific techniques we've already mentioned. Establish a regular schedule, going to bed and getting up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This consistency reinforces your internal biological clock. Create an environment conducive to rest. Cool temperature, between 18 and 20 degrees, complete darkness, and silence. Consider using earplugs or a white noise machine if necessary. Limit caffeine after noon. Remember that coffee, tea, chocolate, and some medications contain stimulants that can remain in your system for up to 12 hours. Exercise regularly, but not in the 3 hours before bedtime. Physical activity improves sleep quality, but if done too late, can have the opposite effect. Incorporate foods rich in tryptophan and magnesium in your dinner, such as bananas, almonds, or natural yogurt. These nutrients favor the natural production of melatonin. The transformation in sleep quality doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience and consistency. Dolores, a 70-year-old patient, confessed to me that it took her almost 3 weeks to notice significant changes. But after a month, her night awakenings were no longer a source of distress, but of peace. Now, when I wake up at 3, she told me, I feel like I have a meeting with myself, a sacred moment that belongs only to me. And this brings me to a crucial point I want to emphasize: the importance of our attitude toward aging. Many times, what we perceive as problems are simply natural adaptations of our body to a new stage. When we change our perspective, these experiences can transform from obstacles to opportunities. Waking up at 3 a.m. after 60 is not a curse or a disease. It's an invitation to reconnect with more natural rhythms of rest, to listen to the wisdom of our body, and to use those moments of quietness for personal growth. To summarize what we've learned, waking up at 3 a.m. after 60 is a natural phenomenon related to hormonal changes, decreased melatonin, and possibly a return to ancestral patterns of biphasic sleep. Far from being a problem, it can become an opportunity for reflection, meditation, or quiet activities that enrich your life. The techniques we've shared, from conscious breathing to the reflection notebook, can help you transform these moments of wakefulness into positive experiences. The key is to change our perspective, not to fight against these awakenings, but to work with them, integrating them as a natural and potentially enriching part of this stage of life. I would like to end with a reflection. Perhaps these mysterious awakenings at 3 a.m. are not a defect of aging, but one of its hidden gifts, a space of silence in a noisy world, a moment of clarity in the middle of the night, an opportunity to connect with our deepest essence. As Elisa, a vibrant 83-year-old lady, wisely told me, at 20, I slept like a rock and had no time to reflect. Now, those nighttime moments are when I most clearly see the purpose of my life. And you? What will you do the next time you wake up at 3 a.m.? The answer to that question could transform not only your nights, but also your days. I invite you to share in the comments your experience with these night awakenings, and if any of these techniques resonate with you. Remember that you are not alone on this journey, and that shared wisdom enriches our entire community. Thank you for accompanying me in this exploration of one of the most common mysteries of aging. Until our next meeting, I wish you peaceful nights and meaningful awakenings.